morning all of you. So we are in the chapter squares and square roots. Okay. So today we can discuss how many numbers will be between two consecutive square numbers. Okay. How many numbers will be there? How many non-perfect square numbers will be in between two consecutive square numbers? Okay. Through examples we can find out that. So first one square between 1 square and 2 square. These are two consecutive numbers, square numbers. 1 square we know it will be 1 and 2 square it is 4. So in between 1 and 4, how many numbers are there? Okay, that numbers will be non-perfect square numbers. It will not be square numbers. So we are finding that between 1 and 2, not 1 and 2, between 1 square and 2 square. Okay, between two consecutive square numbers. So first square number we know that is 1. Next square number is 4. So in between, otherwise in between 1 and 4, how many non-square numbers are there? Okay, so how many will be that? We can count it. It's very easy because it is only a small number. Between 1 and 4 we know that numbers are 2 and 3. Only 2 numbers are there. 2 numbers. Just like in between next perfect squares, 2 square and 3 square. That also you have to think. Between 2 square and 3 square means that 4 and 9. 2 square means 4 and 3 square is 9. So in between 4 and 9, how many numbers are there? It will be 5, 6, 7, 8. So 4 numbers are there. That is 4 numbers. Just like these numbers we can find out for the next consecutive square numbers, 3 square and 4 square. Okay. Square. 3 square and 4 square. 3 square we know that is 9 and 4 square it is 16. Between 9 and 16, how many numbers will be there? When we count, we can see that it will be 6 numbers are there. Okay. 6 numbers will get in between. That is from 10 to 50. Okay. Now in between 4 square and 5 square. Between 4 square and 5 square. That means in between 16 and 25, how many numbers will be there? You count it and you will get, there will be 8 numbers are there. Just like when we continue this, we can find out, okay, how many numbers will be there. We want to form a general formula. You want to find out how many numbers will be there in between two consecutive square numbers. So if we are continuing this, that means next we can take one positive integer as n square. Okay, for n square, then what will be the next consecutive number? Next consecutive square number it will be, if it is 3 square and 4 square, next is 4 square and 5 square. Just like if it is n square, next square number will be, with this n square, n we are adding 1 because this we are getting by adding 1. 3 plus 1 we get 4. 2 plus 1 we got 3. Just like if we take n square, next we want to take as n plus 1 whole square. So in between n square and n plus 1 whole square, that means if we take any two consecutive square numbers, because higher numbers also we want to consider. So if it is a very small number, we can count this type and we can find out the correct number. But if it is higher numbers in between 21 square and 22 square, how many non-square numbers are there? It will be difficult by counting. This will be difficult. So here we want to form a general formula for finding out that number. So if we take this number, first number as n square, the next consecutive square number will be n plus 1. So it's square. So in between n square and n plus 1 whole square, how many non-perfect square numbers are there? Can you find out any pattern here? If it is In between 1 square and 2 square, there are two numbers. In between 2 square and 4 square, between 2 square and 3 square, there are 4 numbers. Between 3 square and 4 square, there are 6 numbers. That is, in between 1 square and 2 square, 2 numbers. In between 2 square and 3 square, 4 numbers are there. In between 3 square and 4 square, 6 numbers are there. In between 4 square and 5 square, 8 numbers are there. Can you see any pattern in this? In these numbers, any pattern can you find out? In between 1, here it is 2. If it is first number is 2, here we got 4. If here it is 3 square, we got here 6, 4, 8. Did you get any pattern? So if it is n square and n plus 1 whole square, how many non-perfect square numbers will be there? Can you find out from this pattern? If it is 4, we got 8. If it is first number is 3, we got 6. So if it is n square, there will be, we are multiplying 2 with this first number. Here 2 into 4, we got 8. 2 into 3, got 6. 2 into 2, 4. 2 into 1, 2. So if it is n square, if the square numbers we are taking as n square and n plus 1 whole square, how many non-perfect square numbers will be there? It will be 2 into n, that is 2n non-perfect square numbers will be there. Okay, so if you got this general formula, we can find out how many, for any numbers, any consecutive numbers, we can find out total how many numbers will be there, how many non-perfect square numbers will be there. Okay, clear? So suppose if we take 10 square and 11 square, find out how many numbers are there. That numbers will be non-perfect square, because in between 10 square and 11 square there will not be any perfect square numbers. So in between these two numbers there will be only non-perfect square numbers. So how many numbers will be there? How many non-perfect square numbers are there? For that we can find out. Here the first number is 10. So that number multiply with 2. So 2 into 10, it will be 20 non-perfect square numbers are there. So it will be very easy for finding the total number of that non-perfect square numbers. And also the same we can find out by another method also. In this equation we can find out by using another method. This is easy. If you find out this pattern, we can find out very easily. Otherwise, this we can find out this formula, general formula we can find out by another method also. That also you just listen. If it is 1 square and 2 square, how many numbers are there? So we are finding 4 square. 2 square we know 4 and 1 square 1. So 4 minus 1 we got how much? Now we are discussing this case. So to find out how many non-perfect square numbers are there. So first we are in this case we are using another method for finding that general formula for finding 2n non-perfect square numbers are there. It's not important. Anyway you want to in your textbook that method is given. Anyway you want to just go through that method also. So in this case we are finding these numbers are 1 square and 2 square. So 2 square 4 and 1 square 1. When we subtract this, 4 minus 1 we will get 3. So from this 3 when we subtract again 1, we will get the number of 2, because in between 4 minus 1 we got how many numbers we know, that is the numbers are 2 and 3. 2 and 3. So only 2 numbers are there. So first find out the squares of that number, then subtract that, then from that subtracting number we again subtract 1, we will get the correct number. Just same for the next also. If it is 3 square and 2 square, find out the numbers in between 2 square and 3 square we are subtracting. 3 square 9 and 2 square 4. 9 minus 4 we know that is 5. So here we find out how many numbers are there? 4. So from 5 when we subtract 1, we will get that the correct number. Just like if it is for the next also, between 3 square and 4 square, we are subtracting. 4 square is 16 and 3 square is 9. So we will get 7. Okay. So with this, from this 7, when we subtract 1, we will get that number. How many numbers? 6. Just like if we are taking that next, when we continue this, if we find out for n square and n plus 1 whole square, n square and n plus 1 whole square, how we will get these correct numbers? For that, if you use this method, that is subtract from the higher squares this first square number. So in this case we are subtracting from n plus 1 whole square. So use this method same for this, for general, n plus 1 whole square minus subtracting n square. That we do in this whole case. From this second number square, 5 square minus 4 square. That we took 5 square that we did this. 4 square minus 3 square. 4 square 16 minus 9 that we do here. And 3 square minus 2 square. Just like we are doing for n plus 1 whole square minus n square. So that we know what is the expansion of n plus 1 whole square. N plus 1 whole square is, if it is a plus b whole square form, that identity a plus b whole square form, it will be n square plus 2 into n. Okay, 2 into a into b. Here b is 1. So 2 into n into 1 plus 1 square means 1 itself. From that we are subtracting n square. Now when we subtract this, you will get n square plus 2n into 1. 2n itself. Okay, 2n plus 1 minus n square will get. And n square and minus n square we can cancel. Okay, so here we will get 2n minus 1. Okay, from 2n minus 1. So we got this type. Instead of getting 7 minus 1 as 5 minus 1, here we got what? 2n minus 1. So what will be the exact number in between that two? For that we want to again subtract 1 from that. So 2n minus 1 minus 1 we will get 2n plus 1, not 2n minus 1, we got here 2n plus 1, sorry, here we got 2n plus 1, n square plus 2n plus 1, so 2n plus 1 minus 1. So what will be this? 2n plus 1 minus 1, plus 1 and minus 1 will be cancelled, so we will get 2n, that's 6. Okay, same case also we will get the answer as 2n. Okay, so it is easy for finding the first method will be easy, you can find out that pattern. Okay, understanding that pattern you will get how many non-perfect square numbers will be there? 2n non-perfect square numbers are. So to find out in this method we can find out we are subtracting from the second number's square, that is 2 square, 4 square minus 1. 2 square means 4, 4 minus 1 we got 3. From that when we subtract 1 we will get 2. Just like in this case of n square and n plus 1 whole square. From this n plus 1 whole square we are subtracting n square. Then find out the expansion form of this n plus 1 whole square. Expansion of n plus 1 whole square is n square plus 2n into 1 plus 1. Okay, so using that identity form. So after this, from minus n square we want to again subtract 1 like this. From this we are subtracted 1. Same way we are subtracting 1 from this 2n plus 1 also. So 2n plus 1 minus 1 will be 2n. So early way we want to find out this general formula. We got that type. Anyway we want to find understand that how many square non-perfect square numbers will be there in between two consecutive square numbers. For if the numbers are n square and n plus 1 whole square, there will be 2n non-perfect square numbers are there. One more example we can do. Find out how many non-perfect square numbers will be there in between 50 square and 51 square. Both are consecutive square numbers. 50 square and 51 square. Is it possible to count how many non-perfect square is there? After first we find out the square of 50. Then next we are finding the square of 51. After that count how many numbers there in between that two. It is not possible. So we can use that easy method. First number instead of n, here it is. This we can take it as in the case of n square. And instead of this we get n plus 1 whole square. So in between these two numbers that we find out how many numbers are there? 2n numbers. So what will be in this case if it is 50 and 51? Here instead of n it is 50. So it will be 2 into. Here we multiplied 2 with the first number. So in this case also 2 multiplied with 50. There will be 100 non-perfect square numbers are there. So in another case, how many non-square numbers will be there? 31 square and 32 square. Okay, here first number is 31. So it will be 2 into 32. Total how many numbers will get? 64. Okay, it is easy. Understand? So if you have any doubt, all of you want to clear it. If you have any doubt, you can watch this video again and understand it well. Some homework also I gave. All of you do it. Okay, thank you.